business owner.
I'm a business owner.
I'm successful.
I'm successful.
I am a warrior.
Teamwork, leadership, and other skills that are very important, which is why you should have an education in entrepreneurship. Furthermore, it can lead you to be able to create jobs for others because you build a business.
Recently took a math test and did not use a calculator. Okay, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but this was some serious math, and she scored 100% on her math test and did not use it.
Learning discernment is the utmost importance in navigating the complexities of life and making informed decisions.
You want the black as
the
well?
Girl from Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe? Batman, I know. Yeah, swords and things to play for. $170 for some pretend swords.
I really am scared of heights. So like, for me, my wife says don't be scared, y'all. But look, I get dizzy like just looking down. I don't want to come closer.
Come close to the edge, boo.
Wait, she tripping, y'all. Talking about come closer. Listen, you heard the song "Come Close to Him"? This is as close as I come. Okay. No. Henry, day in the life of CEO, bro. Henry. I will keep this blog going for the rest of the day until we get to our destination. That's Tammy. That's right. You can see, I brought with me just a few of the books that our students have created. We've published over hundreds of books, and we're looking to publish hundreds more, and that's where you come in. What is your story? Why haven't you shared it? And why aren't you making money from your story and your experiences? Hey, Publishing Company, we're ready and we're waiting for you. 80 to 90% of being successful as an entrepreneur deals with your mindset. I don't use social media to like talk about my daughter's cats. I go on social media because I'm trying to make money, right? Okay. When you be a guest speaker, there's only 3 Black-owned schools in Illinois that are private schools. There's only 3 Black-owned private schools in Illinois that are recognized by the Illinois State Board of Education. My school is the 3rd. We're the biggest. We're the only K-12. Yo, if you come to my school and speak, I'll record it, give you the recording, and you can use it as marketing on your business. Every entrepreneur that I've talked to was like, yo, I want to take advantage of that. It's a special opportunity, right? Every day is about that percent. Like, what am I doing to get better today? What did I learn? Did I get a new skill set? Did I meet a new person? Did I develop something new? Did I do something? Did I read a book? Did I do something that's going to take me to a new level? Mm-hmm. When your thinking changes, then the people you're going after will be attracted to that thinking because they recognize it. I know when I'm talking to other people who think like I think, like, yo, this person got it. So one of the signs that you may have a poverty mindset is that you make up in your own mind these false stories about how people get money or how they become successful. Like people say things like, the only reason that person is successful because they did, like, it had to do something underhand. Like all rich people steal. All rich people are cheats. All rich people are selfish. All rich people are stuck up.
These false narratives all sound negative.
Right.
And if I choose to not be that negative person, then that's why I'm not.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because if you think rich people are all these negative things, why would you strive to be all these negative things?
Okay.
Right.
I chose intro to oceanography, thinking, oh, look, water, that sounds fun. No, that ish was boring app. That produced zero value to my life. It added zero value other than I got credit for that course in college. Whereas the information that I learned from Professor Devin and that information that we paid $15,000 for, he taught us one on two because it was both of us. But the information that I learned from him, way more valuable than intro to oceanography.
Having that coach, I remember I got invited to speak at an event, and I heard other entrepreneurs speaking, and his sister was speaking. I won't say her name, but she was speaking, and she was like, in the last 10 years, this is what I learned. And she talked about the stuff that she learned in the last 10 years, and I was like, that's when it clicked to me, like, damn, he put us way ahead of the game. It took her 10 years to get to the point, and she was behind the ball of where he started us at. And I was like,
my goal was always to be an engineer because all my friends that I had grew up with, they just stayed around Rockford, sold drugs, or they didn't get to achieve their ultimate goals. And I wanted to be the first. So I went to the engineering school for basketball on a scholarship. my coach got fired. As my coach got fired, it was time for me to make the next step. And I said that it's time for me to just focus on engineering. I want to start with my people. So I looked through HBCUs and I chose Jackson State. Funny thing is, the day I chose Jackson State was the day that Coach Prime chose Jackson State.
Shout out to Coach Prime.
So I ended up working with Coach Prime on the football team. But I had a pattern of behavior. My pattern of behavior is me always winning, you know. I always was able to figure out how to win. And the fact that I could not figure out how to win in music kind of disturbed me. So I said that I was going to dedicate some time separately from what I do to make sure I put this time in every day on music. Car. My friends riding with me in the car. I'll play some Drake, then I'll play some J. Cole, then I'll play some Lil Durk, then I'll play some me. And I'll see how do they react when my song came on versus how they would react when songs that they didn't know came on from other artists, you know.
Right.
And the way that they reacted would let me know. If they was like, who is this? Cut this off. I cut it off. But I keep it in my mind like that wasn't it. Until finally I played a song where they was like, this is hard, who this? I was like, this. I think that a lot of people are taking on the mentality of social media and not the mentality of themselves, you know. So whatever social media tells them to think, that's what they've been thinking lately. It's probably going to take you to the millions, hundreds of millions. Then you look up Harvard, it's going to go into the billions. Then you look up Jackson State, it's going to go to $60 million. And that's going to let you know that the funding and the money is the reason why they say HBCUs don't have the resources. Because of this funding. So now you get into the best part of the school is the fact that the people operate with such a light on them that you wouldn't know that we going through this much stuff at the school. You know, the people is happy, we dancing, we on the yard, we on the plaza, doing all type of things, and you wouldn't realize that, wow, you would not know that these people ain't got no water, that these people is struggling, that these is, you know.
Leadership, development. Most people don't understand that the key to life is taking the time to develop yourself. There's too many times after we finish college and university studies that we think we good. We think we're good, but here's the reality. We're not. That's the point in time when we need to get more coaching, more development. It's like I used to play football, wrestled, and ran track, right? The higher up you go, the more coaching you need.
Right.
Not a lot of risk when you go fill out a job application, you turn it in, you go to an interview. Yeah, you risk time, but there's not a lot of risk on your part as far as the business is concerned. The person who created that business you work for, that person took on all the risk. When you're an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs take on an extreme amount of risk. To me, he said, yo, man, I see the moves you making. I'm studying you. I'm watching you. I see you out here getting to the bag. Man, I want to be just like you, man. I want to be a boss and sit around and not do no work and tell people what to do and get paid from it. And so I almost had to laugh when he said it because I'm like, you think your impression of me is that I sit around, tell other people what to do, don't put in no work, and I get paid from it. The complete opposite is true. I am at the school before other people, or whatever business, I'm there before everybody else. I work through the problems. I am the initial and the main problem solver, and when everybody else is gone, I'm still there working.
And a daughter come in our store. The mother is looking for a human hair 1B finger wave wig. The daughter tells the mother, Mom, this is the exact wig you Googled from the exact brand, from the exact company. The mother looks at the wig and says, I don't like the direction the finger waves are going in. Let's go to the Asian store. She's like, Mom, this is the exact wig you said you wanted. She said, we'll come back if the Asians don't have it, but I don't like it, right? And so we're sitting here stumped like, wait a second, the finger waves are going in the wrong direction? But Professor Devin said that I forget what the term is psychologically, but he said when you go to the Asian store, all you're going there to purchase is like some toenail clippers. That's it, right? We got toenail clippers, they got toenail clippers. 99 cents no matter which way you go, right?
Right.
But The fact that when you go in their store, you see all thousands of all these options, psychologically in your mind, it tells you that it's better than what you could get at the black beauty supply store. Even though all beauty supply stores don't deliver.
Man.
We was delivering.
Yo.
Do you hear me?
Like this whole phenomenon of like delivering stuff from stores. We started that shit.
Listen, we was
here in our city. Like we started delivering. Matter of fact, we started the whole concept of trying to deliver specifically to all the barbershops and the bar.
Exactly.
Remember that?
Barbershops,
We started
salons.
pooling all the beauty salons. So, I mean, not that we don't necessarily have the business anymore. Like we can share some of these great ideas at the time. Like we was pulling all the salons, all the barbershops, and like getting a list of what they needed, and was like, and like going to deliver it to them in their hand. Like, hey, this is what you order. Like some Amazon type. Like this is
in our city. That like, yo, we love the idea of the school. We love what you do. Here, we want to donate some money, but we don't want to send our children to your school. Like with that population, then they're going to be the outcast. Like we just had a child come to the school, got in a fight because the principal told him, well, because you're darker and most of the children here don't look like you, it's easy to identify you when you do something. Where it's harder to identify Billy, Bob, and Tom because they all look the same. Like, yo, fam, that's racist. Like, you don't even...
A principal told
that the father was ready to fight the principal.
It was a wine tasting class. One of our dates, we went, and I really liked like a lot of the information that the guy was teaching us in his class. I'm like, man, I can do this. Like, I can really do this. So it started off just an idea, and then just going back to the class, getting information from. He's up in Chicago, getting information from him, and I'm just like, yeah, putting all this together, observing, and ended up just getting more into it, and I guess started from here.
How long have you been doing this?
It's pre-COVID, so maybe.
Yeah. Did you know they did a wine testing at our beauty supply? Did you know that?
Yeah, not really. I knew, but I didn't know.
It was actually, that was our first one.
And learn about the smartest way to outsource or who to outsource, especially in the wine business. And if Illinois is the best place for it. Because eventually I do want to be on a vineyard. I want to just do wine on it.
Could you outsource a little bit?
The next, 5 years, because...
both of them, real estate and wine.
Well, he said 5 years from now, he's trying to hit that 7-figure piece. You feel me?
Actually, I mean, for me personally, 5 years, I mean, if I could, since we're getting married now, if I get a property a year at least, that's 7 properties, 8 properties. So yeah, I mean, 7, 8 properties. I could deal with that and just keep growing. But since there's 2 of us now, we could get 2 properties a year. You know, it's 14.
Now, I think I would want to. I will be. It's really hard to tell. I think I do want to definitely have my own team, build my own team for my wine, which means like training them specifically, like having them hold me down, like hold the business down, people that I can actually trust to go in this with. So I do want to work on building that team that can stick with me through that, and just taking Monomore to a different level as far as black-owned wine company.
Let's go.
Are there any other?
And then his child may drive some cars, but their great-great-grandchild is going to walk to work. And he's like, well, what happens is hard times make strong men. Strong men make times easier. Easy times make weak people. Weak people make things difficult for everybody, and the cycle just repeats, right? And so part of the problem is the black community, we're always talking about build generational wealth, but part of the problem is it's not just the money. And a lot of people get confused, like, oh, well, if I make $10 million and I just pass it down, sure. Well, if you pass down the money, but you don't pass down how to handle the money, the mindset, if you don't have the mindset getting passed down, then that money's going to be gone, right? I've never had a 12-year-old ask me those types of questions. Like, adults don't ask me those types of questions. Mm-hmm. So she was asking questions. She's like, listen, if I take your coaching program, I understand investing the $15,000, but when I make my next $15,000, can I invest that in real estate? Because I want to do this, and that. Like, she's like moving to the point where when we had like the intercession, instead of the room like shifting forward where Marquell's at, they shifted back to her. So like all these adults are coming back and they're asking her questions and stuff, and I'm like, dang. Like as a father, just
I wish I had your mindset when I was your age. So like,
yeah,
I just wish I would have started younger. Like that's what makes me upset. Like there's people doing it like younger.
True.
Right.
True.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, to just touch on it, the way I told Keyshawn that, like, the way that y'all have raised your two daughters, Duffy, Samaya, it's just been like, it's. I look at it as like something that I want to follow. Like, I definitely look up to the way y'all did that. That was. I remember when I tell them the price, it's kind of like a. But I'm like, yo, you spend hundreds of dollars on a pair of basketball shoes, but you realize your child might not graduate, so you might want to.
Right.
What I'm charging is nothing to what you spending on on the other parts of their life. So
Napoleon Hill said, right, that the husband-wife mastermind is the strongest mastermind alliance that you can have, and that a husband-wife mastermind can accomplish more together in 1 year than you could accomplish apart 7 years. So our viewers may not have a clue what a financial advisor actually is.
Yeah.
So could you kind of just talk about what that even is for the...
They take the word financial and advisor, and they say, oh, that's too much for me off the top. You know, and number two, they think, well, I don't have enough money to sit with that person anyway.
Wow.
So why am I even considering or even thinking about listening to a guy like a financial advisor? But what a financial advisor does, a good one will take some time to get to know you, what your goals are, what your concerns are, and then subsequently take the time to educate you when it comes to how money actually works. The job is not the solution. Well, people think, well, go get more education as a solution. But then you end up compounding your issue with additional debt.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes people will go and get another degree, add an MBA. So now you got that MBA. How much more does that truly add to your net income or your overall net worth? And what most people don't realize is that it might add another $15,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 to your income. But what did it cost you?
Absolutely.
So no matter what school you go to, Ivy League or local state college, and you get this MBA, gosh, it could cost you $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. Can you go ahead and stroke the check for that today? Most people cannot. And that's a problem. So that goes back to what we've learned. Go to school, get a good education to get a good job. Whoa, hold on a second. Isn't there another way?
Right.
The other way is, have you ever read the book Cash Flow Quadrant?
By
Robert Kiyosaki, right? You break down the quadrants, talks about being employed as an employee, and then you got the next one, the next box below, self-employed. Go get your own job, go create your own job, kill something so you can eat. You don't kill nothing, sorry, your family not gonna eat that night, right? Little Johnny trying to get some shoes, he ain't gonna get no shoes. His shoes gonna be talking for a while. Y'all have all seen it. I done had them.
Right.
But the other side of the quadrant says, become a business owner. Whoa, become a business owner. What does that mean? Well, that means go do something different. What is that? Go run a business. And then the other quadrant says, become an investor.
Absolutely.
Loaded with so much, because when it comes to financial literacy, when it comes to financial education in our community, the short-term evaluation of value in speaking with a financial advisor or a financial professional is so overrated, or not overrated, but people are afraid of that short-term investment. With our company in particular, we don't even charge people
For their time.
fee to sit with them and go through their finances and help them come up with a financial plan. But even in that case, putting that in front of them, people would rather have the short-term gratification of their Jordan money or McDonald's money than understanding that in 20 or 30 years from now, you see your grandma who's literally living on Social Security, where Social Security was not meant to be the main source of income for anybody in retirement. It literally says it on the Social Security statement.
That's a bar.
That it is not meant to be your main source of income, and because you're not willing at an earlier time in your life to just sit down and understand all the areas of finance. We're not just talking about budgeting, although that's definitely an area that we address
Manage your
because
spending.
it starts with that, right?
Mhm.
But you need
Discipline.
to understand why having an emergency fund is important.
The pandemic proved that out.
Right?
You needed liquidity
How
on
many
hand.
people were drowning?
And man, people don't invest in themselves because they don't value themselves enough. And it takes a self-evaluation to determine what you're worth. Unfortunately, I think too many people allow society to place a value on them. Here's an example. Minimum wage goes up to $15. Oh, I got $15 an hour now, y'all. Woo, I'm making it. For real? You allowed them to put $15 on you. That's your worth?
Right.
$20 an hour. That's your worth? Really? But we can go and watch people play sports.
Right.
We can go and buy tickets to concerts and pay obscene amounts of money. We can go buy jeans with labels on them. We can
And
go
then
buy
ask
shoes.
them, how much you got in your emergency fund?
Oh, what's that?
Though in our community that we don't value education.
Oh.
And a financial advisor is an educator.
Yes.
So I think that if we put more emphasis on just getting education, then maybe we could open ourselves up to financial advice.
Did you know that from the cash value that you have in your insurance policy, you could actually borrow that and turn around and go buy an investment, depending on the amount you have in that policy. And then once you profit, you turn around and put the money back that you borrowed out of it. Just return it.
So you become your own bank.
There you go. We need to help you to get educated. You know, it's been said that our communities from a generational standpoint are way behind financially.
Absolutely.
More so because of the lack of financial education. And believe it or not, life insurance is that one tool that has propped up so many other cultures and allowed them to fast forward and be in a good place financially.
In fact, we hear
It says that the black community by 2053 is expected to have a $0 median income.
wow.
There's another statistic that says in 1965 there was more black wealth than there is today.
Wow. Wow. So we got
No way that we'd be able to move in the same direction because we think very differently. Don't get it twisted. We think very differently,
Like what you said.
right?
Yeah.
But it's that threefold cord that allows us to stay or at least come back and move in the same direction.
Here's the thing. Yes, the spider was creepy, but the question is, were our lives ever in danger?
Absolutely. You are always in danger when there's a spider and or a snake anywhere near you.
So my point to y'all is this.
Therefore, the fear of them is real. Don't
There's a few
touch
poisonous
me
spiders. This is true.
with a spider.
But the odds of you
garden
actually
snake
dying
bite.
from a spider bite in 2022 are very low. You got a better chance. Me in a job interview, hey, we need from you complete honesty. It's like, as long as you're honest, and they were like, we're gonna find out anyway because we do deep background research. So I'm like, okay, cool. So they're like, we need your honesty. All right. So they asked me questions like, how were you in school? I wasn't the best student, but you know, I'm here. Like I made it. I'm here. They're like, all right. And then it was like, yo, did you ever get like suspended or get in trouble? I'm like, yeah, I got suspended.
Yeah, we all.
Then I, I just let them know the truth. Like, yo, listen, I was suspended every year from kindergarten to my sophomore year of high school. No, and then our junior year I got expelled, and then senior year. But senior year I didn't get suspended or expelled. So yeah, I got suspended, but I grew up. I'm a changed man now. Things are differently. They was like, man, thank you. We love your honesty. We've never had somebody as honest as you before.
But you're not
We appreciate everything that you gave us. But guess what? We're gonna go in a different direction. And this job, we just don't think you're a good fit for this job.
I agree.
I talk too much. Let me tell you, I went and applied for the same job a second time. The person that I talked to was the exact same person. They didn't recognize me, but I recognized them. A year later, I applied for the same job. It was like, be honest with us, tell us everything. I was like, how was you in school? I was like, I was a great student. And I left it at that. And guess what happened?
You got the job.
$50,000. You see what I'm saying? $50,000 job.
That's a great example of talking too much. Because they didn't specifically ask you, how many times have you been suspended in school? They just asked how good of a student you were. I was a great student. Or,
We live in a city where they have an honors program in some of the high schools. The students who make it to honors programs are reading on average at a 4th grade level. We're talking about incoming freshmen. The average reading level of the city is 8th grade. And the city has a 60% dropout rate. Or I should say they have not dropout, 40% graduation rate.
It's not honors. It's
I thought it was an honors program.
No, what is it called?
Gifted.
Gifted.
Yeah, gifted program. The gifted program has a 4th grade reading level on average for incoming freshmen. So basically, you get children in high school, freshmen, sophomores, you give them like, read this book, and it'd be something real simple. They like, he, like the word is the. And then you trying to like help these students through because they're not educating children out here. So the educational side is definitely a flex because they are not producing educated children in this city. And let me tell y'all something, since our podcast, can I shine more, but my mistakes overtake my any successes that I have because I've made thousands. I have 1,000 mistakes to every one success. From your perspective, how should an entrepreneur that's like new to the game, how should they view a bookkeeper? And then when does your service become like vital?
So when it comes to startups, why is a bookkeeper so important? It really truly is so that you can know how to reduce costs and how to save money in the very beginning. Because when you are spending all this money on products or you spend all this money on your inventory, you have to know where you can cut costs. But if you don't have a list of how much this is costing you in inventory, how much your space is costing you, how much you're spending in gas, then how do you know where you can save money?
But the mass majority of blacks hired under that system are paras, crossing guards, lunch ladies. Nothing changed. From the 1950 to 2022 in a 72-year time period, nothing has changed. Well, if the hiring policies have not changed, and if RPS 205 is not making wealthy employees through their hiring system, what makes you think it's going to be different this year?